Hi, I'm Sam and welcome to another video. Today I have the rear-wheel drive Porsche Taycan. I've got it for a little bit of time, not very long, about sort of a 24 hours, of which I'm quite busy in the middle. But I'm going to try and go for a little drive and give you some of my thoughts. I say shout out to Porsche Centre Guildford, Paul Woodward down there, who, great salesman. He sold me my GT3 way back when, and he sort of sorted this out, so thanks very much. And now let's have a little look around the car and then I'll give you my thoughts. Right, having a look around. Here's the key. The key is sort of typical Porsche shaped key, but it's a bit fatter at the rear than most of the other ones I've come across. So let's have a little look in the boot. This is the rear wheel drive. It comes in two versions, the 80 kilowatt hour battery and the 95-ish kilowatt hour battery. Having a look in the boot. It's quite deep in there. You can put the seats down so it goes all the way through, but you will hit this if you have anything particularly high. So maybe the Cross Turismo, that would probably be the one for me. Not charging point. Some sort of deep bins in there. Got these aero sort of style wheels filled in the black there that you see on a lot of electric cars now, but much more efficient than conventional style rims. Let's have a look in the frunk. Being a Porsche, you've got to have something in the front. Quite deep. I would say that's similar-ish size to a 911. Maybe a bit smaller, but you could definitely put quite a lot of stuff in there if you need to. And then let's have a little look. Oh, we're going past the charging point. There's one of these on either side. That's your sort of conventional 3-pin plug or slow charger. And then you can take that off, and that's for the fast chargers. Into the interior now. We've got dashes all the way along here, wireless CarPlay. This morning when I got in the car, connected up my phone, and then you can put your phone in there for wireless charging. 2 cup holders, a bit rare in modern Porsches, not the 911. A little bit more space under there. It's just actually really quite a nice place to sit. It feels super modern. You can actually have 3 people sitting in the back. Not that would be very comfortable, but and then pull these tabs and these seats come down. That's a little display for your passengers at the back. You start the car up by pressing this power button. Got displays. You have a little selector here that flicks through the various displays, and then you can change what is on them, etc., etc. Then we've got these 2 displays. This touch one changes your temperature and a few things like that. Tells you how much charge the car is, things. And it has this, it's all kind of haptic feedback, so it vibrates when you press it. It's slightly awkward to use. I would prefer this to have buttons, like putting the volume up and down. I would love that to be, well, you can do it on here, but that would be great if it was a twizzle dial. Other than that, it's a pretty nice place to be. Gear stick wise, you just put it down and we are in drive, reverse, and park. And then to power it down, you have to hold this down for a couple of seconds and then it powers down. Ready to go. Here we are inside the Taycan. I haven't had this car for very long. I got it yesterday afternoon, drove it straight home, haven't really used it, and then now I'm taking it back to Porsche. So this is my sort of first experiences. But the first thing I noticed when I got in the car versus my other electric car experiences, so I've driven a Honda E, I've driven a Tesla Model 3 Performance, is I get in this and it feels like a really nice car to start with. Just straight away you're like, ooh. Okay, my first 15 minutes of driving the car from the dealership was just, I like this experience. It's, the more you use it, you come across some different things, but I liked having a proper interior. The Teslas with the Model 3 specifically, with the big tablet in the middle, did my head in. But this, I've got a normal dash, you can change a bit of stuff around. This center touch screen. I would prefer if it was some sort of hybrid, like you had some buttons and some screen. I think we've kind of gone too much screen. Like you want to put it in sport mode, you have to press on a screen, it's just not that easy to use this stuff when you're driving around. Refinement-wise, it's a lovely place to be. I don't know whether this car has the acoustic glass. I would definitely have that as an option. It just knocks down the decibel level a little bit, but it's quite a refined place. Space-wise, car's got loads of space. It also doesn't feel big, and I'm not sure why, because it is quite a big car. It's nearly 2 meters wide. It's nearly 5 meters long, but because at the front you have these sort of raised Porsche arches, when you're looking out of the road, looking down on the road, you can see the front and left of the car, and that makes it so easy just to work out where you are, and you feel like you're in, just from positioning and stuff like that, you feel like you're kind of in a sports car. You don't feel like you're in a massive saloon vehicle, which is, it's not really what I expected. I expected it to feel big and heavy, and we'll see when I get to some faster bits driving later what it's like when you get moving. But around town, really enjoying it. Plugged it in last night into with the Porsche mobile charger into a 3-pin plug. So I've now got 245 miles of range, that's full, and I plugged it in at 189, and that was at 1 p.m. and it was going to take till 12 a.m. to charge, so it was 11 hours. So you probably don't really want to be charging from a 3-pin plug. Range-wise, that's my biggest sort of anxiety / problem with this car, is I don't want 245 miles for me. Daily use, not a problem whatsoever. If you like to do longer trips, for me, maybe it's going to a racetrack. I would love to be able to go to a racetrack and get back. And this sort of range is not enough for me to do that, which would put me off or just mean that I would probably have to use another car. Yeah, you might be able to charge there, but I don't want to be charging once a journey, personally. That just seems like quite a lot. But the electric car experience is pretty wicked. Like straight away you think, why are cars not all like this? This is obviously clearly the future of transport for non-sort of entertainment purposes. You turn on the car and it automatically just starts doing the aircon to the temperature that you've set it before. So in the morning, as soon as you unlock it or go near it, it will warm the car up to the temperature you desire, which is lovely. Then it doesn't make any noise when you start it up. You start it up in a garage, you don't get fumes flying around everywhere. It's just a great experience. I really enjoy the practicality side of having an electric car. You also get a bit of space in the front, a bit of space in the back. This car makes some weird kind of spaceship noises, like stuff like that, which is unusual, but it's quite, I think it sort of adds actually. It's cool. It's a cool thing. Speed-wise, this car is 0 to 60, sort of 5.1, I believe. And it has that initial sort of punch in the first bit of the first sort of torque when you press accelerator, but when you get up to sort of 70 motorway speeds, it does start to lose out. Like it really doesn't punch anywhere near as hard at that speed as it does down low. Now, for most driving situations, you probably don't need to punch very hard at 70 because that's kind of the speed limit, and on country lanes, you're going to go less than that. But we'll see how that is later. Steering-wise, it's an electric system. It sort of weights up nicely. I'm getting something back through. Some sort of sensations, vibrations and stuff are coming through. Just feels very positive, fits in with the experience, adaptive cruise control, all that stuff. Yeah, I like it. Maybe you can hear that noise. Let's continue on and find some better roads. It's so weird accelerating without the noise. What is it like when you go a bit quicker? Well, this is when you start to feel the weight. Now, it doesn't feel heavy, like conventionally heavy. Like I think if you got into this car's 2 tons, I believe, that sort of amount. And if you got into a normal car, petrol engine car that weighed 2 tons and you start to go around a corner, it really starts to move. Whereas with this, with the weight down there, it does feel more locked down. I think everyone says this, but it feels almost like less likely that you're going to flip over. I don't know if you've ever been around a corner in something like maybe an old Defender or something, and you go, ooh, like this is the absolute opposite. It feels so like heavy down low, but the car still does feel heavy. It manages it exceptionally well, but you can still feel it's there. Steering feels quite nice. I wouldn't say it feels massively fun, but it is a large vehicle. So it does feel quite capable, but I almost think I would prefer a little bit more power from a performance point of view, like from a fun driving point of view, because it's super capable. I don't know whether you just want that experience to be something that's super capable and just more, rather than, because it's not a delicate car, you're going to be just like finely balancing, a little bit of grip, a little bit of lock. It's more of a, you hustle it down a road. As a driving experience the rest of the time, it's just a really nice car. Rides really well, deals with bumps really well. Interesting. The first 15 minutes with the car, I sort of fell in love with it straight away. I was like, this is the future. I would absolutely swap my Audi for something like this. Then, and I think this is the electric car thing, the more you drive it, you don't necessarily get more. The experience doesn't build over time. That first 10 minutes is the experience of the car, and it's exceptionally capable as a car. But it will be very interesting for me to see what Porsche does in the future in electric Boxsters or Caymans or whatever all this other stuff we're going to see. I think there's still going to be scope to have some petrol cars, maybe synthetic fuel. So it's where it's going. But at the moment, I don't think that excitement builds as you drive the car more often. I think you get a great experience to start with, and then it's like peak. You just hit the curve, just flattens off. And would having more power make it better? I think you'd get, for that spurt of time when you're like, I'm on the gas. In town, it's pretty punchy anyway. Those sorts of speeds, low speed, like 30 to 60, it's really punchy. And it's okay at 70 plus, but I probably wouldn't want to be autobahning something like this if you were going fast, because your range is just gonna massively drop. It's just quite devastating down a road. All the while you got this nice ride as well, and I'm in the slightly stiffer suspension setting. Oh, Sport Plus suspension, let's try that. Now I'm in the soft. Oh yeah. The difference between soft and stiff, soft Sport Plus suspension is quite significant. This is the normal suspension. You can get down a road, but it's just quite plush, gets you around. And then you tune it up to the Sport, and it's just a bit more controlled. Right, let's pull over in a second. I'll give you my wrap up. There we go. What are my final thoughts on the Taycan rear-wheel drive? I think as a daily car, it's so comfy. It deals with bumps and round the town so well. It's the electric carness of it, the fact that you can just turn it on, it'll heat itself up, plug it in, never have to go to a petrol station, all of that stuff. I think it is amazing. I love the way that Porsche has done this as opposed to Tesla. I would much prefer to drive that car than a Tesla. Significantly so. But from the charging infrastructure point, I don't think I could live with that car at the moment for my usages yet. I think that's a little bit of a point. Performance-wise, it's fun. It's just still heavy. The way it handles the mass is quite amazing, but it is still heavy. But you can absolutely crush a road. If that's what you want to do, that sort of feeling, and I imagine the Turbo S is even more, just like plus, 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 plus. But this is a decent amount of performance, and you can carry some serious pace. It's a very cool thing. It's a very cool thing. Would I buy one right now? I think I would prefer the Sport Turismo. Would I be interested in one of the higher up models? Probably not, actually. I think this is all the performance you need, this level. It is rear wheel drive, so presumably at some point in time you can turn everything off and have a bit of a hoon. Yeah, it's a really cool thing. I suggest absolutely go drive one. If you've been put off by Teslas and stuff like that, go drive one of these and maybe it'll be for you.